No.
We'll start in a minute just so everyone can get a chance to join again.
Yeah. All right. Should I just start now?
Yeah.
All right. So as I was doing before, this is my prompted question to the AI. So here I specify the actual location in Europe that I want to go, which is Paris and London. And I also include the dates, which is April 1st to April 7th. And I also include what I actually want in the travel guide, which includes restaurants, activities and sightseeing, and hotels. So let's see what it gives us. So here it gives us a travel guide to Paris and London. It gives us hotels in specifically Paris, including these that I can choose from. It gives me restaurants that I can choose from that would be good to go to and different activities to do in Paris. And here it also gives me hotels in London, restaurants in London, and activities to do in specifically London, which are the places that I want to go. So this just goes to show how important prompting is when you are dealing and communicating with AI, because it allows you to get what you actually want out of the response, and it's just very useful when communicating with AI in general. All right, so now we are going to move on.
Okay. So now we'll be moving on to our last topic. I'm gonna go ahead and screen share. All right. So our last topic for today is going to be retrieval augmented generation, and it's short for RAG or RAG. You can call it RAG. Okay. So retrieval augmented generation is essentially giving the AI a large database of information prior to giving it any commands. So when Pranav was explaining LLMs to us, large language models, he explained how if the AI doesn't have information or data on a topic that you ask it, it oftentimes it makes up data that's like false. For example, when ChatGPT wasn't updated to provide information past 2021, if you asked it, for example, about, let's say something like the FIFA World Cup, you all know what that is. If you asked ChatGPT, oh, which teams are playing today, or which teams are going to be playing tomorrow, what was the score? Oftentimes, instead of saying that, oh, I don't have information, I'm limited to 2021, sometimes ChatGPT would just make up a completely false response, which can throw off the user. It can mess up what the consumer is looking for. So with retrieval augmented generation, what you can do is you can give it a certain article, you can give it information, you can give it data, and it can pull certain aspects of the data out for you so that you don't have to go through and find it. For example, in the World Cup example that I was talking about, you can give ChatGPT different news articles and what they're talking about, and then you can get specific information such as certain team standings, scores, who won this match, when are certain matches being played. So tailoring the information you give it will give you a more accurate response. So again, it retrieves any necessary information, and the information serves as the foundation for the generation process. So all the data previously that ChatGPT had, now it's focusing on the information that you gave it. And once a command is given to the AI, it uses the data given to generate a response. And it helps mitigate issues such as factual inaccuracies or coherence problems. So again, this is just mistakes that the AI might give you while you're asking it for a certain response. So we're gonna do an example of this with the Three Little Pigs. Everyone knows the short story. And what we're gonna be doing is providing ChatGPT with the Three Little Pigs. We're gonna be giving it the story. We'll paste the story into it. And then we'll be asking it specific questions from the story. Because as we know, there are 100 different versions of the Three Little Pigs all online. We know our basic version, but you never know when the AI can pick up a different version that doesn't involve the Three Little Pigs. It could be the Three Little Elephants, right? There's a whole bunch of different versions of this same story. So what we're doing here is we're giving it this specific story from this link, and then we're going to ask questions based off of that. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and click this link. You guys can follow along, or you can just watch me if you want. And what I'm going to do here is copy this story. As you can see here, it says that Three Little Pigs was first published in 1840, but the story is believed to be much older. So there's so many different versions. We're going to be using this one in particular, so the AI knows to grab all of our questions, answers from this text. So I've just copied this story. I'll paste it in the chat if you guys want, so you don't have to go and copy. It says the message is too long, so you guys can just go through the link. But you just want to copy the story and you want to paste it in here. Now, don't click enter yet. What you're going to do is click shift enter, and then you're going to give ChatGPT a command. So in our slides over here, we've given the command to answer the following questions. So we're going to be finding out who the main characters were and a description about them in one sentence, the final event that took place, and the antagonist in the story. In case you guys haven't learned in school what the antagonist is, it's just quote unquote like the bad guy in the story, right? In this case, it would be the big bad wolf. So we're going to ask the AI these questions. So we're going to say, who was the main character in the story? Provide a one-sentence description about them. Our second question is going to be, what was the final event that took place? And our third question is going to be, who was the antagonist in the story? All right. So now when we click enter, ChatGPT uses this story. It's able to take all this big data, right? So this huge text, right, that we would normally have to spend time reading. Now it just pulls out all the information for us, right? So for example, sometimes teachers ask you specific questions about a story, right? Not that you should be doing this, but ChatGPT can easily take that text, whatever text is given to you, and pull out all the specific information. So even data sets with lots and lots of data. So companies like Google, right? They have data from all these different users. If they need specific data, they can ask the AI to pull something from its database. Obviously, AIs like ChatGPT aren't strong enough to do that, but AIs that big companies use are able to provide them with relevant data that they need from an existing data set. So here you can see the AI answered who the main character was, the third little pig, who was clever and resourceful, right? Because he outsmarts the wolf. It tells us the final event that took place was the pig boiling the wolf in a pot of water after he came down the chimney. And we have our antagonist, which is the wolf. All right, so this is basically giving the AI text to work off of. Now, this is similar, right? So ChatGPT already has all this existing information. However, new information that might not be in its database, you can take advantage of just feeding it that information and then telling it, okay, based on this, tell me, give me whatever I'm asking, right? Okay, so does anyone have any questions about this so far? No? Okay. So that's an example of retrieval augmented generation. Now I'm going to be going to Bing AI. Now, you guys probably don't have an account here. I just asked you to create one on ChatGPT. So you guys can just follow along. But here I have Copilot open. Copilot is developed by Microsoft. ChatGPT is from OpenAI. So Microsoft Copilot, it's somewhat better in certain tasks. Certain AIs are better at different things. So ChatGPT actually recently got the ability to generate images, but Bing AI has had it for a long time already. So I'm going to be showing you how we can generate images using Microsoft Copilot. So over here, you just have to give the AI a certain text that you want the. Let me just check the chat. Certain image that you want it to create. So basically, you're gonna do. You can create any image you want. So let's say I'll just use the one that was on the slides. So let's create an image of a drone flying over the ocean. Once we give Copilot our instructions, it'll take some time, it'll create that. Because it is image generation, it'll take a longer time. You can see the response isn't instant. We have to give it some time. However, it creates our responses. See, there's all these different pictures of the drones flying over the ocean. You can create any image you want. We could do create an image of a giraffe in a forest. And it'll create that for us eventually. Right? So right now it's creating these images. They don't look too real. They look more like clip art, right? But what AI is aiming to do is create hyper-realistic images of different things that you give it. For example, you've seen videos like deepfakes probably online, Devansh explained, where it's videos or images of a real life person, of them saying things that they haven't actually said. And this is done completely by AI, as it's able to alter their face structure. Not their face structure, but rather what they're saying. It can, mimic what they're saying by altering how their lips move. So that's basically how AI can create images. I just skipped over this example. This is just similar to, email corrections, just giving it a basic instruction. But, Copilot can do everything that ChatGPT can. They just both have their different strengths and weaknesses. So that's going to be it for today's AI class. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, you can ask right now. Any comments or concerns, you can leave any feedback in the chat. And yeah. Other than that, if you guys have no questions or concerns, you guys are free to go.